Dr. Stan Lee was a New Jersey anesthesiologist who went to New York State prison for cashing in on the opioid crisis, selling addictive painkillers tied to 16 fatal overdoses out of a basement clinic in Flushing, Queens.
It was all cash, and it was about at least $14,000 every Saturday, cash.
One of his clients was Melinda Brady, seen here online, 8 days before her husband, David Laffer, killed 4 people in a Long Island pharmacy on Father's Day 2011 during an opioid robbery. Dr. Lee went to prison in late 2014 on 2 manslaughter convictions tied to his prescriptions.
I wanted Dr. Lee to spend every moment in jail and try to reflect on what he did.
Nicholas Rappold was found slumped over in his Jeep, dead from an opioid overdose on September 14, 2010, on a street here in Queens. And that's when investigators discovered a prescription from Dr. Stan Lee. Lee's sentence was 10 to 20 years, but COVID symptoms in mid-April cut that short, according to his daughter Susan, who testified at a Senate hearing in September about showing compassion to elderly prisoners.
He told me about friend after friend who'd been coughing up a lung that week.
Dr. Lee died April 26th in the hospital, but the former prosecutor who tried his case was never notified, and neither were victims' families until Pix 11 informed them.
I do not believe that anybody deserves a lonely, painful, and isolated death.
Charlotte Bismuth had already written a book about the Lee investigation, Bad Medicine, before she learned of his death. She is troubled that family-owned companies like Purdue Pharma, which misled doctors and the government about how addictive OxyContin was, escaped criminal prosecution.
Those who are able to game the system because of their wealth and their access are being saved from much more.
But Dr. Lee wasn't spared a prison death, and Margaret Rappold said she had forgiven him.
I don't want anybody to go through a horrible death, especially with COVID.
If any good came from Dr. Lee's case, Bridget Brennan said it stopped some doctors and pharmacists from putting greed over patients.
The conduct is really changing, Mary. It makes a big difference. There's a big deterrent effect of bringing criminal charges against medical professionals.
But deterrence won't bring back Margaret Rappold's son, Nicky.
Especially now around the holidays, is when you really miss them the most.
I'm Mary Murphy, Pix 11 News.